Now, if you're one of the people that watched my previous video on PLTR, first off, thanks for showing up. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing to the channel, whatever it may be. I appreciate that. I want to show you how that trade is actually playing out because we did have a lot of people in the comments section saying that's not going to happen, right? PLTR is not going to go down, PLTR to the moon. A lot of moon boy stuff and people daring me to go short. And I was already in a short, so you don't actually have to dare me because I'm already in it. And we're going to show you exactly how it's going because I am still sticking to my position that PLTR is probably going to about $51. And at the very least, it could be going to about $45. So I gave you both sides of that trade setup as well. Unfortunately, the side that I gave that I entered on is actually playing out right now. Fortunately for me, unfortunately for the people that were like, hey, no, this thing's going to the moon. It can still go to the moon, absolutely. But healthy markets need to retrace, my friend. That's just how it is. So we need to see this thing retrace back to sustainable levels and then leg up again. That's what markets do. They go up, they come back, they go up, they come back. Same thing whenever they're going down. They leg down, they come back, retest resistance, bam, they leg down, right? So with that being said, if you appreciate content like this, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on the notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I know you will because you already did on the last one. And I love the banter in the comment section. But let's go ahead and get directly into the chart, directly into my trade, see how it's all going, and then we will take it from there, right? And you can choose to do with that information whatever you will, right? Appreciate you. So look at this right here. All right. This is what we're going to be talking about. All right. So Palantir is literally on a downtrend right now. And I want to show you why, like I thought that this was going to happen. Obviously, you maybe watched the previous video. I don't know. We're going to assume that you didn't, right? And anybody that came over from the OG Drew Wolfer channel and is subscribed to this channel and watching on this channel, man, I appreciate you because that other Palantir video that I just did, it actually outperformed my subscribers by like 4x, which is great. And I appreciate you. Now, first and foremost, I want to show you exactly what happened. Okay, so Palantir came down, hit this little pivot low. Okay, so what's that pivot low from? It's from that previous run up, came back, wick down to it right here. Then we came back to it, tested it, jumped up, came back to it, tested it, jumped up, came back to it, tested it. Okay, here's the only problem with pivot lows like this. They're not what I would consider like high level supports, okay, where they're going to be like a long-term support is going to be something that's like dated all the way back to like 2023, right? That's a long-term support. This is a very short-term support. This is dated back to Monday of last week, right? So, I mean, this is not something that's like, we'll just say it's not a super high level of support, okay? The more this gets banged on, the more likely it's going to fall through, okay? Now, we did have the 50 moving average. This is why we're seeing a bounce here. This is what I'm telling people, right? We do see a bounce here. We do see these two moving averages on the 1 hour starting to curl downward. This is the 9. I get it. No one cares about the 9, but this is the 20. Okay. And the 20 is like a magnet for price. So if you're wondering why we bounced off of this pivot low and came back up to the 20, we're going to retest that as resistance. Okay. And if we get rejected off of that and we fall through this 50, most likely what's going to happen is we're going to fall through this level right here and we're going to be headed down right here. This is like our saving grace point right here. It's right in this $55.75 level. Why is that? It's a previous pivot high and a previous pivot low. Whenever we went back and tried to test it, we got rejected a little bit and then bam, we came back through it, boom, and blasted through, right? So this is kind of our saving grace level that if it doesn't bounce here at about 55, 56, something like that in this little supply zone range, we're coming down. And what I mean by coming down is we're coming right down here to about 51 bucks, okay, which is where that gap fill was. And I'll show you what the gap fill is, but first I want to show you why this happened and why I was very confident in this trade for a reason. And there was a lot of people in the comment section, they're like, dude, this is not going to happen. I'm like, it's not about that. You're absolutely right. It could go either way, right? But probability is in my corner right now. It is on my side. So I am seeing a short entry position here. And, thank God I did because look, my short is already up, $238 or something like that. And it's up over 50, it's up like 50%. It was up like 75% earlier, but we had that little bounce from here and we're retesting this as resistance, this 20. So why did I think that this was going to happen? Well, first off, if you look at the bearish divergence right here, boom, price is going up, setting higher highs, higher highs. RSI, what's it doing? Setting lower highs. Okay, that it doesn't get much more easy to explain than that. That's a bearish divergence. Okay, then if we go to the 1-day chart, we're going to see a lot more stuff. Okay, and this is where it gets a little bit more wild. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and I'm going to show you the first things that everybody hated that I said, but they're applicable. And I don't care what people say, they are applicable. The gaps. I get it. People are like, oh, there's runaway gaps on the S&P that all these other tech companies had runaway gaps for blah, 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 blah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that some tech companies had a lot of runaway gaps, but they weren't doing it like 4 years into their business, right? This business started back in like 2021, coming up on the 4th year of business for these guys. I don't see it happening. Okay. I see us going back and at the very least retesting this swing low level, right? Or this swing high level, which is, consequently the previous all time high. All right. From like 2021. Look, boom. That is literally the previous all time high from 2021. All right. So then what I also did, we know the gaps. We know that there's like, a gap that needs to be filled at $51, at $41, and then we've got a massive support at $45.40. I'm talking long-term support, not like a not like a swing high or a swing low support. I'm talking real support here, baby. So what I also did, and I'm going to show you one thing that I didn't show you in the previous video that gives me more, confidence and confluence. But let's show you the Fibonacci extension, okay? This is not the thing that I'm talking about, by the way. I'll show you that here in just a second. But if you look at the Fibonacci extension, we'll take the gaps out. We'll take all the other, pivot low supports and all that stuff, right? Look at where it came. This is the low to the high of that first run, all the way measured to the low of that run. And then obviously it shows you where our run up should go. And guess where it's at? $64 is the 1.618 Fibonacci extension to the upside. Now, if you break through this considerably, yeah, you could be going to $100. That is where I would flip long, right? Whenever I get a confirmation signal. But I'm going to show you why there's no confirmation signal here, because a lot of people were screaming like, nah, it's going to continue going up. Okay, cool. We'll see. What happens is this line kind of got broken, right? But there was no confirmation signal here. Yeah, it got broken on one candle, but you have to have another candle close above the close of this candle. What's the close of this candle? $65.77. So until we see a candle close above $65.77, there's no confirmation signal. And then it's probably going to go up a little bit. And then we want to see a retest of this level right here, this 1.618. And that's where you would enter for a long position, obviously setting your stop loss probably somewhere down here by this like swing low, right? Or the support level, which is about the, I think it's like $59, $58.80 range, something like that. So it's very minimal downside to a potential high upside of, almost $100 up here, right? So here's the other thing that I didn't really show people. Boom. This is like the lifetime trend channel that I don't think anybody looked at, because I don't think a lot of people look for these trend channels. Okay. Let's just go back and we'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This started literally all the way back in like February, March of 2021. Okay, here's the first hit on that, right? Here's the second hit on that, right? Here's the third hit on that, right? And then we fell all the way down. We came down here, we kissed the bottom. We then made support right here. We then made the trend channel right here, kissed it one more time, moved up. Now we are within like $2, okay, of kissing the top of this trend channel, which is why I may take profits here, or I may sell off, say half of this position and let it ride, relatively risk free until we hit this support, or not support, but resistance up here, and then short it again. And then I would set my stop loss somewhere out here in like the $69 range or something like that, because you don't want to get stopped out on something like this, right? Because a lot of people would have gotten stopped out on this right here. If you were trading solely based on that 1.618, if you set your stop loss like $1 or $2 above it, you would have gotten stopped out here, right? But if you would have set your stop loss up here at the $67 range where that lifetime support was, you would not have gotten stopped out and you would have hit a nice little profit here, just like I did, right? So that's kind of my point. If you're looking at these things, you can see that there's still a lot of downside. There's a lot of confluence to the downside. Now, am I saying that we don't come back up here and retest this and retest this? Yeah, absolutely, we can. And I'm thinking about getting out of my position so that I can enter at a better price up there, right? And take the profits that I've already made, right? But here's my point. We've got the 50 down here near 45 bucks, which is where that really, really long-term support level is, which is right here. We're looking at this support, bam, right here. Boom. This is right where the $45 level is, like right where the 50 is. So we came down, we touched and kissed the 9. We, obviously we went back up after that. But I think we're going to continue coming down here, especially if we lose the level, which is right here, this pivot low. If we lose this level, I mean, we're coming down to 51 bucks. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's just technicals weigh it, right? I think a lot of people thought that the NASDAQ news was going to make a bunch of institutions have to buy it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They don't have to buy that day one that, this stock goes from the NYSE to the NASDAQ. They have plenty of time to buy it. They don't, and they're not going to buy after all these people have bought. Like if you're a hedge fund manager, are you buying up here? No, no, you're not. You're gonna wait until it comes back down here to where its fair value is, right? Let's look at the VRVP, right? Visible range. I mean, this point of control is down here at 22 bucks, right? Let's look at just, this previous run up right here. If you want to know what the fair value of this is, right? 45 bucks, point of control right here, right on our support level. This is where the institutions are going to be looking to buy, not up here. Not whenever they don't care. They're not in the business to just like be forced into a position to lose money. Why did Citadel remove like 91% of their position on PLTR? Because they made money and they're going to look to enter right down here. They literally moved out like 91% of their position and they put it into Google. Okay. So they'll wait for Google to pump, and then guess what? They'll wait for this to come down here, and then they'll buy it up again. So with all that being said, hopefully you understand kind of why I took this position. Again, my options were at about 39 cents or something like that was my average price. And as it sits right now, I mean, they're up pretty decently, and I don't really see PLTR like kind of. I mean, it could go back up and retest this, right? It could go back up here and retest this, but I don't see that necessarily happening today. And in my opinion, you're going to have to regain this 20 moving average first, and it's getting rejected off of that. It's already tried to do that. Like if we look at the 5-minute chart, it's already tried to do that. Let's look at it. Yeah, I mean, it came up here, it tried to retest it at 61.59, and if you look at it, I mean, on the hourly chart, these are significant moving averages, and these were right at 61.70, 61.80. So you kind of see where I'm going with it, and that's the reason why I entered this short position. So with that being said, if you like analysis like this and you like content like this and you want to keep following me, obviously make sure you like the video, but make sure you subscribe to the channel and then boom, bang on the notification bell. Obviously, you can see I'm up massively on my gold position. You can see I'm up decently on my PLTR position. You can see I'm up massively on my silver position, and I'm down a little bit on Tesla, but I'm not worried about that. That's a long-term, all the way out to December 27th. I'm not worried about that. Same thing with PLTR. It's like 25 days till expiration. Same thing with gold. We've got 18 days. These are in the money. Silver's in the money. We're looking good, baby. So if you want to see content like this and you want to, know how and why I do this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you showing up, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.